I'm here with the Ohio women's golf coach, Kelly Ovington. How are you doing today, Coach? Good. I know that you just finished up your fall season. Your team finished third at Toledo's event. So can you just tell me how the fall season went, for you and your team? Mhm. Yeah. I know you've been the head coach at Ohio since 2008. So you created quite the legacy at Ohio. What makes you come back each season as the head coach at Ohio? Yeah, so you've been a coach for so long. I want to know, what's the most special and rewarding thing to you about being a coach? Yes, you've had a lot of success at Ohio, and especially even in your first season as head coach at Ohio. Your team had four top 10 finishes and a pair of top five finishes. How did you have so success, just in your first season at Ohio? Because most coaches, it takes you a while to get acclimated to being a head coach, at a new school. But, you had success right away. So what do you think made you so successful in your first season? Yeah, so this question I'm interested in asking you about. Can you tell me about Megan Weaver, who is now the head women's coach at Longwood? I'm going to be talking with her hopefully soon. Just what stood out about Megan, and did you think that she would become, a head coach someday? Mhm.
for me. So I could see it. Once you see it, then you know you can do it lots of times. So getting the PGA was just a natural move for me. And the Southern Ohio PGA has been outstanding. Both when I was in Cincinnati as an assistant for several years at 3 different courses there, and then when I moved up to Columbus and I took the head pro job at Kinsale. Well, I was there as an assistant for a couple of years, and then they moved me into the head pro job. And I was there for a couple of years, and then decided I had one of the a couple of girls who I was giving lessons to at the time approached me about the Ohio job. And I was like, when was I my happiest? And it was when I was coaching, when I was in Cincinnati. And so I just kind of grew from there, just came in and decided to apply for the job. And here I am, 15 years later.
Yeah, so you've been both an assistant professional and a head professional. Can you tell me some of the major differences you've experienced between being an assistant pro and a head pro?
A lot of it is, responsibility, and you kind of have ownership over the entire facility as far as the golf aspect, and you're responsible for that. So it's a lot more. When I was an assistant, I taught a ton. I was tournament operations for, all of our Monday outings, all of our tournaments. I was doing the leagues, that type of thing. When I moved into a head pro position, it was more behind the desk. It was more, I didn't play as much with the members. I wasn't teaching quite as much with the members because my, other buckets were pretty full. So I think that was one of the things that kind of led me to getting back into coaching, because I had this goal of being a female head pro for years and years and years, and I was working towards it. And once I got there, I'm like, ooh, this is a little bit different. I don't have the freedom that I used to have to be able to teach and to be able to play with the members and do the things I love about being a PGA pro at a golf course. So when the opportunity came up, I jumped at the coaching opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell me how you got started playing golf? What age you began playing, and some early memories you have of golf? Growing up, maybe playing, junior high school golf.
Yeah, I'm the youngest of 6, and I was a surprise, you might say. So I'm several years younger than my siblings. So when I got a little bit older, instead of finding a babysitter, my parents would just take me to the golf course with them, because I was the only one who needed to be watched. So that's kind of how I fell into it. My siblings, they play a little bit of golf, but none of them were really competitive at it. So it was just me. And I played a ton of golf with my parents, which was incredible. Whenever we go on vacation, it was always playing golf with my parents. And I had the opportunity. One of my best memories is probably, my brother was always my caddy at any big events I played in, any kind of events. And I didn't have the opportunity to get close to a lot of my siblings because they were a little bit older. And that time that I got to share with my brother caddying was probably some of the best memories I've had for golf.
Yeah, can you tell me about your time playing college golf at Michigan State, and why you chose to attend Michigan State?
That's so Michigan State has always kind of been in my life. My dad he went there for 1 year. My brother went there for a year, and we vacationed some in Michigan. So it's always been in the back of my head. We always followed, Michigan State sports.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't that much of a jump for me to go there. But I honestly, it's funny because back then there wasn't a lot of recruiting done. It was basically you're sending information to a coach, maybe a videotape if you have it, and then just going to campus. They didn't travel as much to seek you out as they do now. So I was actually honestly recruited a lot more for soccer than I was for golf. I was a big soccer player. I was a big swimmer, and golf really wasn't a big priority in my life until my last couple of years of high school, when I was like, I think I could play this sport. It just came very naturally for me. So I still continued to play soccer. That was my priority, and I was probably recruited a little bit more for soccer. So I went up to Michigan State. I talked to the soccer coach. I talked to the golf coach, and I just honestly, I felt a really big connection with Mary Fossum, who's a legendary coach up there. So fortunate to have her as my college coach. But yeah, I loved it there. Michigan State was fantastic. Played in several tournaments and had the opportunity to have some relationships and teammates that I still stay in contact with, which is neat. So and always rooting for my Spartans. I got green and white still, so that is always nice. So
At Michigan State, you graduated with a degree in telecommunications. That's an interesting degree. So can you tell me what telecommunications is?
yeah, so it's pretty much uh, telecommunications is computer systems and information networks. So
Okay.
I was on the forefront of setting up local area networks and satellite and things like that that weren't happening yet. I mean, there were cell phones out there, those big cell phones at the time, but I can remember doing senior in my ITS classes, doing a senior project on how one day everyone's going to have a computer in their hand. They're going to have, it's going to be their personal number, and how everyone's going to have one of these to carry around, and they're going to be able to access anything. And so that was pretty cool to be on the forefront of that and see that and do that research. Probably if I had stayed in that, I'd be retired right now. But golf was just too big of a force. I wanted to stay in it. I wanted to just keep playing and growing the game. But telecommunications was a great field back then. I would say it's management information service systems now, and that kind of thing as far as computer science. So at the time, it was fairly cutting edge, and Michigan State was one of the only schools that had the program. And golf and soccer, and that's how it kind of got narrowed down to them. And the fact that it was probably about 5 hours, which was, far enough that, I might not have my parents at my doorstep every day, but I would be able to get home on a weekend, that type of thing. So it was a perfect fit for me.
Yeah. And then can you tell me what it was like to begin your coaching career at the University of Cincinnati?
Yeah, I was 23 and a head coach, so that was pretty young to be a head coach, and I was a full-time assistant at a country club in Cincinnati. I was taking my vacation time to travel with the team. And so but you're 23, 24. I'm just full of energy and I never wore out. So it was an amazing experience for me. Um, it was pretty cool. It was odd at first because I actually played junior golf with a couple of the girls. So that was a hard transition. But we eventually got the program ranked in the region for the first time, in the top 10 in the region when I was there. And I just it was a part-time job at the time. I think I was paid, it's probably embarrassing to say, but as a Division I head coach there, I was paid $2,500 to start. So by the time I graduated, I was making $5,000. So or not graduated, by the time I left there, I was making about $5,000 in the head coaching position. So I was like, you need to make this full time. And I had to make a choice at that point. Was I going to try my PGA stuff, or was I going to keep working this coaching position that really wasn't paying my bills? So I had to go back into working and kind of focusing as trying to be a head golf professional in a country club.
Mhm.
So
And finally, you've been the head coach at Ohio for 15 years now. What have you enjoyed most about your time at Ohio, and why do you think Ohio University is such a special place?
you can ask any alum. This place it's, they say it's magic. I don't know. I mean, I'm an alum now because I got my master's here in coaching education back in 2014. And I was fortunate that this is one of the best coaching education programs in the country. And, uh, I was fortunate to be able to go through that program. And now I can officially call myself a Bobcat. So, and I feel it. You feel it on campus. You feel it through all the alums, whether it's in athletics or just around. You're walking through the airport And we get so many people that just stop us and want to know all about what's going on Court Street, what's, all these different things, Bagel Street Deli, or all sorts of things that they had experiences with here at Ohio. And, you know, I I honestly never felt that at Michigan State, probably because it's such a big school, but people just love it here. It's a family atmosphere. As soon as you step on campus, everyone's just outgoing and wants to really help you achieve your goals and be the best you can be. And it's absolutely gorgeous down here. The campus sells itself. We're kind of in the base hills of the Appalachians, and you can be, you can be hiking within, a mile of campus. You can be on a lake within a mile of campus. You can, so you can kayak, you can swim, you can mountain bike within a couple miles. It's just a neat place to grow and develop as a young adult, and it's a safe environment. I feel like, I mean, every campus has the same issues as long as you're smart, but um, it's a safe environment to allow these young men and women to grow and um, you know make a mistake and learn and kind of grow as a person. You want to be in a safe environment that will allow you to grow. So uh, I'm fortunate that Ohio is that place, and it's pretty amazing to see how the leaders that come out of here in every sport and every academic field. And yeah, I'm just lucky to really be in this position.